We've reported on the rise of food banks over the past few years. As well as providing food for people who need it, they help shops cut down on waste. There's always been a problem, though, what to do with the fresh food that'll go off. And that's where new community fridges come in. More than 30 fridges stocked with free food have been set up over the past 2 years by a charity called Hubbub. It's put them in community centres, and there's even one out on a street. Sheffield University has one for students and for the people who live nearby. Our reporter Harry Kretschmer spoke to some people at the fridge.
So I'm looking at all the pastries. There's some, I think it's a cheese plat, so I might get that.
You're sniffing it?
Yeah.
You're not entirely sure what it is?
Well, I didn't really know what it was, but I think it's a cheese plat. It smells quite cheesy, so I'll probably get that. And Ellie, I'm going to go costume shopping for Halloween, and I need some lunch, and I've not got any, so I thought, well, I'll go and see if there's any free stuff that I can get instead of having to buy some things.
My name's Andy Woffen and I'm the Sustainability Coordinator for the University of Sheffield, and I oversee the running of the community fridge we've got based here.
It looks like a labour of love. You've got nice kind of copper piping, it's painted black, it looks quite nice. How long has this been up and running?
So this has been up and running since the 15th of January this year.
And how much food's gone through these doors?
Since that was launched, we've had just over 10 tonnes of food, which is quite phenomenal, really. With the number of students that we've got based in the residence here, we know that the food poverty, the limited budgets, the food that they actually get doesn't necessarily give them a whole nutritional based diet.
Many people, when they hear the words free food and fridge, they'll be thinking sell by dates, used by dates. Is it safe?
We've got all the disclaimers. We are extremely careful that the food that we do collect from the local Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Morrison's, etc., that we are very careful of what the food is with the best by dates.
Last winter, during the snow and the ice, it had all the food and things I need, without having to go all the way into town, heading towards its expiry date and things.
And are you part of the university?
No, I live in the flats above.
There's some buns there, some fruit, some veg, and what's particularly taken my fancy is these donuts in the corner. If I'm honest, there is a bit of a habit of just seeing some food on there and just pinching something rather than bringing stuff in. I do believe that we need to get more of a culture of kind of bringing stuff in and taking stuff from the community fridge, so it's more of a swap.
What have we got there?
Some cheese straws and some apples.
We're just about to walk to the shop, but it doesn't look like we need to anymore, so I've never liked to waste food. I'll always eat anything I buy, unless it goes mouldy or something. I just think that there's people around the world who don't have it, so we're lucky to have food in the first place, so why waste it?
Harry Kretschmer in Sheffield. Trúan Restorick is the founder and chief executive of Hubbub, the charity behind the community fridges.
The idea actually originated in Berlin, where we saw these sort of fridges put into the metro there. It then spread over to the north of Spain, to the Basque region, and we just thought that's a really interesting way to get perishable food that would have been wasted into the local community.
Is it about preventing waste more than about helping people who are too poor to afford a lot of food? I mean, some of those students in Sheffield probably could have gone to the shops and bought stuff, couldn't they?
They probably could. I mean, Hubbub is an environment charity, and we started with let's reduce food that would be wasted. So that was definitely our starting point. Let's make it available to the local community, and let's create no stigma around this. So, that people are free to use the fridge. What we've actually found is that the people who use it most are those who really need it. For example, one fridge in Southwark, we did a survey recently, and about a quarter of the people using the fridge were really worried about where they were going to get their next meal from.
Isn't an open fridge vulnerable to abuse? What about someone just coming along and turning the thing off, or poor food hygiene?
So the first fridge that we put into a town in Derbyshire called Swadlincote, we really wanted to see what would happen. So it's in a managed space, there's somebody looking after it, but we work very closely with the Food Standards Agency and the local environmental health officer to make sure that what we provided was safe to eat. So all of the people who run community fridges are registered, they have food hygiene certificates, there's very, very clear labelling about what goes in the fridge. There are certain things, like cooked rice or pre-cooked meals that we won't take. So to date, we've had no real abuse of the system, which has, to be honest, surprised us.
You managed to get some very big companies to donate and invest in this idea. Sainsbury's, also Tesco, Bosch give you the fridges. Was it hard to get them involved?
Initially, it was very difficult. So Sainsbury's and Bosch supported the first 2 fridges, and there was a lot of concern, particularly around, will it be abused? What about the safety regulations? But then what we discovered was that when people actually saw they worked, then companies started to either financially contribute or they actually started to donate food. And I think where the community fridges are working is that lots of businesses, they're looking around at what they've got left over in their store or in their shop, and it's usually perishable food. So it's bakery product or fruit and veg, and they need to get it somewhere quickly where it can be either frozen or chilled. We're a good way along that with the community fridge network.
Trún Restrick from Hubbub.